Anybody who has access to a phone has pretty much heard about the Shannon Sharpe situation. I'm, old enough or young enough, however you want to put it, to remember him as a standout tight end with the Denver Broncos. John Elway was his quarterback. He also was a part of that Ravens team that is arguably one of the best defenses of all time in the NFL. With Trent Dilfer as their quarterback, they would win a Super Bowl. So I know Shannon. I'm more familiar with Shannon as the football player as opposed to me being familiar with Shannon as the analyst that he's become and the major sports figure and personality that he's become, or whatever you want to label him as. But the second part of his career in sports, because the first part of his career in sports would be him as a player. The second part would be him as a personality. Has not been going, you know, I can't say his plan because I don't know what his motive is. And I'll get to motive a little bit later in this particular video. But uh, I just want to speak on real quick how relevant is what he has going on to the overall scheme of life. And what I mean is, if you don't know, if there's a demographic or a part of my audience that does not know what I'm speaking on, Shannon is under heavy scrutiny. He's being accused of foul play with the female. There's phone recordings where he threatens to choke her, and she's suing him. And the lawyer that she has representing her is Tony Bugsby. This is the same lawyer that was involved in the Deshaun Watson case. So he has kind of a reputation of having a person accuse you, and then more and more accusers come along. So, this is yeah, tricky situation for Shannon. There's no telling what he's up against, but I have my opinion of the situation. If you listen to the phone call, it seems to be, you know, like baiting going on. You have to listen to the phone call, but that's not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video because you don't want to have a person who is domestically violent or violent in any way in the forefront of television, news, and media. If you have horrific crimes aimed at you, or horrific crimes, I'm going to say aimed against you, horrific crimes attached to your name, you shouldn't have the privilege of, and you're guilty, of course, you shouldn't have the privilege of being a face that the public sees every morning. In Shannon's case, if you're a viewer of First Take. But there are so many other things going on in the world right now. To be concerned about Shannon Sharpe and what he has going on, it shouldn't be this big of a topic. It makes me think about the days when you had to read articles out of Sports Illustrated and we were not oversaturated with news. Uh, there's a lot of oversaturation going on. This situation is really not that important in that scheme of things, but it is important in the scheme of things that if you're going to be at this level, have this type of money, understand that every level there's a different devil. And I'm pretty sure that this person that's accusing Shannon of these acts could care less about Shannon Sharpe. They didn't grow up with Shannon Sharpe. They don't care about taking him down because they were not around when he put in those necessary hours to become what he became as a football player. Also, what he became as a sports media analyst person. So the relevancy of this story is you cannot trust everybody, because you get to a point in life where people see you as a meal ticket. For him to be facing these allegations and have this type of situation going on, and I question the validity of it. Uh, I'm not saying the lady's wrong. I don't know, but just based off, the conversation that I heard is kind of shaky. So, Um, I could be wrong, I could be right, but at the end of the day, human beings have sex. Uh, Now, should a human being choke a woman or threaten her? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that at all. Um, but he was dealing with a person who was recording a phone call, and I mentioned the word motive earlier in so there was a time, and I don't even know what proper word to use because I don't want to get banned. So I'm gonna just say there was a time where there were heavy accusations about Shannon Sharpe um, being attracted to the same gender that he is, and that notion has completely gone out of the window. I think the first installment of it was the quote unquote live incident where he was supposedly making love to a woman, and it got recorded somehow, some way. And in this situation, so we really don't know what's going on. It shouldn't take up as much as our time as it has taken today. I'm only making this video because I understand that sometimes I have to play the algorithm game. So if I'm going to play the algorithm game, I'm going to give my true and honest opinion like I would do on anything else. Uh, so yeah, that's all I really have at the moment. I don't think this situation should be so uh, such a major topic, but there is a lesson involved that when you get to a certain level, like I say, you reach new levels. You can't trust everybody. People look at you as a meal ticket. They don't look at you. There's no emotional investment. They're not tied to you. They don't know your struggle. So you just have to, just like in any level of life, be careful. Be careful of the people that you have around. I appreciate you. More videos to come.